217 Recovery Podcast. Welcome. I'm Corey Winfield. Joining me to my right on the couch is Robert.
Hey, what's up?
And our guest today, our man Randall. Randall, what's up?
How y'all doing today?
I'm doing well. Of course, Randall, you come from, should I say it, Albion?
Oh, yeah, Albion, Michigan.
Yeah, but some say Battle Creek, but you're like quick to say, nah, it's more Albion.
I ain't from Battle Creek. I'm from Albion.
Got your nice job in the recovery field. We can't really say what it is, but you're like a Secret Service guy.
Secret Service, yeah. I heard the the professional term was called something else, but I won't say that.
I'm a recovery leader at a local treatment center here in northern Michigan.
Well, how's that going?
It's great, man. I love it. I get to work with people every day that's fighting this disease that we're trying to live from every day. I get to see people come back from the dead every day. I get to see people, with hope and, just trying to get their lives back together. It's great. I love it.
And you've been wanting to do this for quite some time. And you told me this a while ago, and this is something that a lot of people can probably relate to, is the whole, look, man, I got a record. And it's hard for me. I mean, nothing wrong with working at McDonald's or anything. You got to do what you got to do. And McDonald's, I think, does actually pay well, especially if you get into management and stuff. But, that's not what you want to do. You want to help other people because it helps you stay sober. And here it is, actual recovery community and places like the place you work for are actually kind of giving back in a way by hiring people that are in recovery and, are focused on being better and a part of society.
Definitely. The people where I work, I actually went to treatment there from November till February. And my therapist and my case manager, when we were going out the door, they were trying to get me and our other roommate that's not here, but they were trying to figure out ways to implement us into this program because of the way we carried ourselves and the effort that we put into our program while we was there. It took a couple months. Like you said, I did have to take a gas station type job, and I hated it, and then I got the opportunity. I was still in IOP actually when they offered me the job, so it means a lot. It gives me a purpose in life. I felt like that was something that was missing my whole life. Was, like you said, I have a criminal history, some 60 misdemeanors and 2 felonies. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to really get purposeful employment or gainful employment. Something that I could actually live off of and not have to go back to the streets and do what I was normally used to doing. So, I mean, it's a blessing. I'm grateful every day that I get to work with people, like I said, that are suffering from the same thing I'm going through. I can relate with them. I can show them my experience. I can, share my hopes with them. It's great. I love going to work every day. I mean, I've never had a job in my life that I'm actually happy to go to or I want to get back to after work or whatever. So, I feel like that's been my purpose all along. It's God's plan for me is to help other people. I'm not a pastor, I'm not a doctor, or nothing like that, but I've been through hell. You know what I mean? And if anything I can say to somebody helps them in any kind of way, I feel like if I can help one person, it helps a lot. So,
and if this is your first time listening, it's Randall joining us on 217 Recovery Podcast. And you said IOP, that stands for intensive outpatient. So you were going back, and you know what? I give you props because I was one of the people, and I'm sure many people told you, or at least suggested, hey man, no, but I was like, man, why are you still coming? Why are you doing this? Dude,
yeah.
You're going through it, and to me, I was just like, man, and I'm sorry I even said that to you. I'm sorry I even questioned your motives, because your thing was, hey, I don't care if I learn the same thing 80 times. I'm doing it. And dude, it takes a lot of strength just to stick through that, and I give you props, man.
And yeah, I got out in February, went straight into IOP till the end of March or the end of April. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a long winter up here in northern Michigan. I'll tell you that. I've never even seen this much snow in my life, dude. It was horrible, but it was great. I just didn't want to have to start back from scratch ever again. You know what I mean? I don't know about ever again, but right now I didn't want to have to give up, and I felt like you said it was keeping me sober. When I got out of treatment, I didn't go back to where I'm from. I moved up here to
Boyne City.
To Boyne City, but I mean, I'm staying in a transitional house, and that's good for me. I got good guys around me all day long. I eat, breathe, and sleep recovery. You know what I mean? That's what it's taken for me to stay sober. I mean, I'm hitting meetings at minimum 5 a week, and sometimes more. I'm working in a treatment center. I talk to my sponsor every day. He's in the house basically with us. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what it took for me. I went to treatment 8-9 times before this time, and I heard it all. You know what I mean? I heard everything that I know now. I mean, I listen to everybody speak, and you hear the cliches, all the, one day at a times and all that shit, and it never stuck. Anytime I left treatment, I left early. And I was high probably instantly. You know what I mean? In 30 minutes, I was right back to where I'm from. So this time I made a choice to come like 4 hours away from where I'm actually from. And after I got it out of my head that I was going back home, things changed, I started getting serious about it, and it changed my life. All I've ever known was sell dope and do dope and not rob people, but, hustle people and, get in trouble, go to jail, wake up and do it again. You know what I mean? So I've got a great opportunity up here with great people around me, and it's my belief that it's my higher power that's working for me because I'm allowing it to today. You know what I mean? I seen both of you guys come in treatment. You know what I mean? Both of y'all came to treatment and broke down in a bad way. You know what I mean? Now you guys are sitting back. You got a nice job where you work hard every day. Rob's doing great. I knew Rob from another treatment center we was in together. And he knows I left. Gone. I ain't seen him for a couple years until I seen him on detox porch. He's back there smoking. Don't I know you? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. I remember that day. Yeah. Well, so can I ask you a question, Randall? Now, as far as is there anything that you think that kind of stuck out this time, where, as opposed to like the other times, where you went into treatment and, like you said, you were out the door and within a few minutes you were back out? Is there something that was profoundly standing out this time for you?
Definitely. For me, any other time I was in treatment, it was like a hospital setting. Hard chairs, no comfort level to it, and you couldn't really see the recovery working. This time in treatment, I was sitting in there, and all of a sudden we were having a speaker meeting, and I see these people just start coming in from everywhere, and I'm like, who are these people? You know what I mean? And they were alumni from people that had graduated the program before I had gotten there. And they were actually the guys that we're living with now. A lot of them were from Nathan's house, the treatment or the recovery residence we stay at, and it gave me a sense of like hope. Like this shit is real up here. Where I'm from. Yeah, I'd probably go to IOP, to make people happy, or I'd go to an AA meeting or NA meeting, and either I was doing dope out in the parking lot or selling dope out in the parking lot, or other people were doing the same thing. So it was like a good front, but it wasn't real, and I seen it, and I'm like, they let people come into this place, after they've left, and that shows trust. You know what I mean? The treatment center trusted them to come back and, spread the view of this recovery is working up here in northern Michigan, where we're at in Boyne City and Walloon Lake and Petoskey. The whole area is full of recovery, and it shows like the people up here want to do the right thing. I've never seen it in my life, and I've been in and out of counseling and SPGB and probation, AA, NA, since I was 17 years old, and it was never real to me. So that was what actually showed me that people are happy in recovery. I was never happy ever when I was sober before. And that's because I was living in the same hell I had already created as an addict and as a drug dealer, and I couldn't change who I was there. You know what I mean? I'd always have that stigma on me of he can get you this, or he's got this, or he wants to get high. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Other people's the way they looked at me it trapped me. You know what I mean? Because even today, like I get calls on my phone or text messages on my phone today. Hey, can you get this or can you get that? Or I got this. You want to come over? I ain't been home in 6 months. You know what I mean? I ain't even been in that place, and it's great. Once I seen that, I latched onto it. Like I want what them guys got. you know, and it changed everything for me, you know.
You're not talking about drugs. You're talking about like
I wanted that hope, not that dope. You know what I mean? I wanted that recovery that they had. I wanted all of it, you know. And I was willing to do it. You know, they said any means necessary. They said, Randall, you got to change everything. I was like, change it. You know, I went back into my case manager's office. I changed my whole aftercare plan. First time I went in there, it took like 10, 20 minutes, and she texted my counselor like, hey, this guy's a lost cause. Don't even, you know, he ain't putting in no effort. Don't even worry about it. A couple weeks later, she told me that story. Like, you know, I counted you out. You know what I mean? She was like, but now you came back in and you've changed. You changed your whole outlook on it, and I'm proud of you. And, you know, I got a real good relationship with my case manager and my therapist. And now I work with them, and they're the ones that pushed me to get this job because I put in the effort, you know.
So what advice? Okay, say somebody's listening, and maybe their son's or daughter is in drugs in a bad way, and they just have no hope. Because I think that a lot of it is mental, and especially like when you start using, man, it's tough because you get in that mentality, and then you just kind of. You go down to where you're just like, okay, I am nothing. I'm a piece of nothing. Unless somebody calls me, and then I got this, and I'm important again. But if you had to like talk to the mom or like maybe a father of somebody who's using it, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm pulling my hair out. Like, what can I tell my son? Because you know our parents love us for the most part, and they want to see us do good. There's a reason why they don't give up on us, and if they do, it's just out of frustration and. They're getting told things. I mean, my mom had to go see a therapist just because of me, you know, and the therapist's like, oh, just give up on him. You know, it was horrible advice. But what would you say, like, to maybe that would get through, like, hey, man, there is hope. Have you thought about a job in recovery? I mean, you're an important person. You can be an important person in this community, which is fun. There's some hot, there's some pretty girls, hot dudes, right, Rob?
Right. Yeah,
oh,
sure.
Man.
Sure, man. Whatever you say, Corey.
I was trying to give you props.
So you mean like...
yeah, Randall's like, let's get back to the question. Yeah, over there.
You're saying like, what would I say to a parent with a child that's addicted to drugs?
Or what would you say to that kid? You know, you 5 years ago. You know, would you like, yo, Randall?
I mean, the only thing I know that you can do is plant the seed because, you know, unless an addict is ready to stop, I don't care if it was Jesus that come down and told you, like, you have to quit or I'm going to put you in prison or I'm going to kill you or you're going to die. Chances are he's going to roll the dice, you know, unless he or she wants to quit. You know that. Mm-hmm. Would you ever listen to anybody? Mm-hmm. You know, whenever. I mean, it's tough love. I think you know what I mean. You have to be stern. You got. It's like on intervention. Like I don't know if intervention is right, but you know, you got to like set rules and boundaries. Like, look, if you're going to use, I can't help you. You know, I have to love you from a distance. I can't enable you anymore. You know, and I don't know if it's luckily, but I didn't have to go through that. I mean, I don't even want to say it, but my parents, up until the end, were pretty much enablers for me. You know, I was on heroin for the last 10 years. I've been on drugs since I was, 12 in one form or the other, smoking weed or pills or whatever. But heroin's really what took me down and out, and I could play and manipulate them because I was sick. You know, I couldn't go to work or I couldn't take care of my child. I couldn't, be at family events. Even right before I came to treatment on Thanksgiving Day, I was dope sick, and they'd already told me, like, we're not doing it no more. You know, you're going to treatment in 2 days. You might as well stick it out. I'm like, well, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. Fuck you guys. I'm dope sick, Yeah. And I got my way. They're enablers. They love me. They don't want to see me sick. And I proved it to them. Like, look, I'm dope sick right now. Give me 20 minutes. I'll be right back. And you wouldn't even tell there was anything wrong with me. And when I showed them that, they're like, wow. They didn't understand. They don't understand. Yeah. They're not drug addicts. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, tough love. It sucks to say and it sucks to hear. And it probably sucks to do that because I have not had to face that. My child's not old enough to go through that yet. So I just know that it's hard to convince a drug addict to change,
So you said, you've been through this. You know what it's about as far as the addiction part goes. You know how much of a struggle it is. Do you think that maybe in the future, if you see certain signs, because I imagine you'll probably be able to pick them out before something becomes a big problem, but do you think you'll be more apt to be able to say help your daughter or younger people coming up knowing, like, being able to see things before they actually get to the point of where it's just out of control?
Yeah, I think that's where my experience on the street comes in. Like, pretty much, I'm pretty close to perfect at the he's high or she's high type of thing right now. Like, I haven't really missed very many, and that's where it comes in. It's normal for me to be around people that are high. I have to know if you're using or not, if you're coming to buy shit for me or whatever at that point in my life. So that is kind of like a tool that I have to know, like, if this person looks out of place or they look like, they're slurring or, just the traits, like you said. Yeah, I think I could pick it up pretty well, and even by past experiences, I know when I was that age, 12 years old, like my daughter is, like, I gave up a lot of things that I loved just for weed. I quit playing sports because I couldn't take a physical. I quit going, around family activities because I was high and hanging out with my friends and disassociating and isolating and all that. So I think anybody that has a history with using drugs or that type of lifestyle could pretty well point it out at any time. So.
You being a parent, does that worry you?
Yes and no. I feel like my daughter has seen a lot. And I think that she learned from it. She's pretty smart. Actually, she came to visit me a week after Christmas in treatment and was telling me how she was watching TED Talks and trying to figure out, what's going on with me. You know what I mean? She was worried. I mean, and that's fucked up to say, that I even put her in that position. But she's smart. She's not like I was. I mean, I'm not going to say that it couldn't happen, but I feel like I didn't realize what drugs could actually do to a family when I wasn't around it when I was a kid. So I was all for it. Let's try this. I'd never seen the bad side. I'd seen the movies or, whatever. I'd never seen it physically tear my family apart or take my parent away from me for using. So I was oblivious to it. And I just wanted to get high. Once I found weed and I could release everything, I didn't have to deal with the emotions that I was having as a teenager. I loved it, and I remember saying when I was young, like, I want to know how high I can really get. It took me 22 years, and I figured it out. I think, I think I've gotten as high as I probably want to ever get in my life. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm thinking it's probably safe to say, even though I'm an addict, her mom had a drug problem. I don't think she wants to go down that road. Like, she loves school, and I know that she's a kid right now. I'm just trying to speak highly of my child, I guess. Right. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to. Right. So, if I ever have to come to that road, at least I know, what it's going to take, to get it together for her,
They say what we put our parents through, we're going to get 2 times full. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm in for it then. That's the case.
Coming from a guy that don't have no kids, you're just betting on that. No,
2 guys that don't have any kids,
right?
And we're straight. I mean, like we like women.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
You don't have to you don't have to convince me of anything.
Throwing that out there.
Just saying, though,
But you know what you should. You know what you should do, Randall?
What's that, Corey?
I'm not going to tell you what to do. But have you heard of Harm Reduction Michigan?
I have. The lady, she's a human resource lady where I work. She's awesome at her job.
Joyce.
Oh, are we allowed to say names here? I didn't know we was allowed to drop names.
Huge supporter of the show.
Yeah, Joyce is awesome.
She's awesome. She is.
She's actually got recovery coach training and all that stuff going on here shortly later on in the year. But my therapist, she had mentioned, harm reduction training and Narcan training and suicide prevention and all that stuff for me. And I want to do all of it. Like, all of it ties together for me, you know what I mean? I tried to kill myself using drugs, so that's suicidal thoughts. That's suicidal activities, you know what I mean? So it hits home with me, too. And I think Narcan training and harm reduction training, all that is a necessity nowadays. A lot of places don't want to give it out or, don't want to administer it. I don't know. I've heard that on the news and stuff, and it's a big, controversy. But, it saves lives, and if you're going to be in this industry or this, career path, you should probably know how to, I know the first time that somebody overdosed around me, they handed me this big giant needle. It was like, I didn't know how to do it. I was going to stab the girl in the chest with it, honestly. I didn't know what to do, you know what I mean? Finally, somebody broke out one of the nasal ones, and it worked. It saved her life, but I probably would have killed the girl trying to give it to her, not knowing how to do it. I'd never seen it. In 10 years, I'd never even seen nobody get shot with Narcan. And I was even one to say, don't even bring that shit in my house. You know what I mean? 'Cause I got high to die. That's how I got down. I didn't want nobody bringing me back. And if you did, I was going to be pissed, because I spent a lot of money to get how I did. And it never worked. I'm lucky, I just had a friend pass away yesterday, matter of fact, from an overdose. I can't say overdose. I don't know. I just know the lifestyle he lived, and I'm 90% sure that it was probably drug related. I'm gonna say that. It's sad, He's got a daughter that is special needs, and he was a good guy. I've known him since elementary school. It sucks, and I found that at work yesterday. And luckily I found that at work because I was around good people, and it was worse when I got home. I was by myself, I just had to go to bed, and I still couldn't go to sleep till like 2 this morning. Had to get back up and go to work at 7, but yeah, it was stressful. That was like the first person in a while since I've been sober that was close to me that actually passed away. When I was getting high, I was numb to it. It didn't bother me. Another person died or whatever, but it's somebody that you've known since elementary school. It's rough. So I don't know. Maybe if somebody down there would have had training or whatever, if they would have had Narcan available, maybe it could have saved him. Maybe it wouldn't have. I can't say. Everything happens in this world. There's no mistakes. It's supposed to happen how it happens, and I'm here to talk about it today. And I don't know how, but I was lucky. So
harm reduction. Michigan and Petoskey and Traverse City. Well, the one in Petoskey is having a blood draw on Thursday.
No.
Yeah, you can take everybody, load them up in the
bus
and head them on over there.
Where at?
Petoskey. They get their blood tested, and they get
because it's hepatitis awareness month, hepatitis awareness month.
So they're doing that, and they're testing for everything. HIV, anything bad in your blood.
Awesome.
And they're going to let you know, and they're going to give you $5 to do it. So you can't have money. You can't have money.
Right.
You can't have money. Give it to Papa Randall. Give it to me. Give it to me. And then if they go back and get the results, they get another $5. Give it to me. You load everybody in that bus up.
Yeah.
And then donate that to 217 Recovery. We appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good hustle for you guys.
But at Harm Reduction Michigan and Petoskey and Traverse City, they give out. And I didn't even know this. Well, first of all, they give out needles, and a lot of people, that's real controversial. But no, they're just going to keep using that same one. They're like, well, you're enabling them. No, they're going to do it anyway. They're
going to use the same one, or they're going to use their friends, or they're going to
spread stuff, and then it costs $800,000 per hepatitis C case. So do the math on that, where if you just give them a needle and, the lifestyle gets old, or you die. Yeah. Or you go to jail.
You tell a guy that's shooting dope every day, he's already got a death wish one. You better use a clean needle. If he ain't got it, you think that's going to stop him shooting dope? Fuck no. He's going to shoot dope if it's, he found it on the street corner and he rinsed it out with toilet water. He's probably going to shoot with it, if it's bad enough.
But they also give, like, a little kit where you can test whatever you're using to see if it has fentanyl in it,
really,
and the levels of the fentanyl, and if it's enough to kill you.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea that was even out there, but they're like, yeah, we give it away. They're like, they're
putting
fentanyl in everything now. It is kind of by Little Caesars. It's around the back of this building, like on the main street across from the golf course.
Okay.
So you're going in there, and it's like the.
Is there an address? You have an address?
It's on our website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, check the 217 Recovery website for that.
Yeah, 217recovery.com resources. And then you'll see the little logo for Harm Reduction Michigan. But, yeah, it's just around the back. Just go around the back. You'll see what I'm talking about. But, yeah, I didn't know that existed either. And I was like, well, you guys should start telling people.
Is that just this month? Or next week,
the blood draw? I think they do it. They're open on Thursdays, I know for sure. I want to say Mondays as well. I should just pull it up on my phone. But yeah, it's from 5 to 8 p.m., it's just a couple times a week right now, but maybe it's Monday through Thursday, or maybe just Monday and Thursday. Don't quote me on that. I know. It caught me off guard, sort of, even though I knew we were going to talk about it. I don't know. It happens, man.
Way to be on top of things.
No, I just really want people to go to our website.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
217recovery.com.
Yeah. That's awesome. It was crazy because we've been Corey's been talking about this since he got his mind right up in Bear River there.
Yeah.
He's got a background in all this, and he was like, man, I'd love to do this. And we were talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like, yeah, you should get call-ins from the treatment centers and, see what's going on, what's the topic of the day up there, all over. I think it'd be great. I mean, the only cure that I found about this whole thing, or close to a cure, is talking about our problem. That shit that we hold in is going to keep us sick, so this is great for me. I needed to talk about the shit that I was talking about earlier with my friend, and I have a problem, honestly, speaking up in meetings and stuff. I can speak in smaller groups a lot easier, or talking to you guys or whatever. I just have a problem, honestly, talking in groups of people that I don't know really. I talk in front of 50 people at work. It doesn't bother me one bit, but I get into an AA meeting with 20 people or an NA meeting. Well, first of all, there's only AA meetings around here. So I feel awkward because I'm not an alcoholic. I never have been. So when I say I'm an addict, first thing that pops in my head is that I'm not, accepted. They don't want to hear what I got to say or whatever. Which it ain't true. That's my own, That's just how I look at things because, I'm not perfect. But, yeah. So this is awesome. I love the opportunity that you guys are letting me get up on your podcast here today.
Yeah, man.
It won't be your last time.
No,
man.
We know where you live.
Oh yeah, I'm down the hall.
Right down the hall.
Right down the hall.
Now, are you going to the UFAM rally?
Yeah, we're going to the UFAM rally here in Lansing, Michigan. Was that on the 15th? 17th. I got a dentist appointment on the 15th. That's right. 17th.
Something's going on.
Yep, we're going to the UFAM rally. Me and Mark and Megan. I'm not sure who else. I think Anna's going.
You want to give props to your crew?
Oh, GGOD in the house? Yeah.
They're going,
we go live around here, yeah. Yep, GGOD. That's Green Group or Die, or that's Get Grateful or Die. Get Grateful or Die is a movement out here. It's all over. We love it.
Yeah, you guys should have made some T-shirts.
We got a couple. Yeah, we're getting some made. Didn't you got a T-shirt guy, I heard? Somebody told me today you guys got a T-shirt plug.
Maybe.
Might need to get a couple T-shirts done before the 17th. I get paid this week. So yeah.
I know a guy. I can pass his stuff on to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's 10 to 4, the 17th. We got a booth out there.
Did you get the booth?
Yeah, you can come by and chill with us.
Yeah,
gold status apparently, man.
Oh, you guys got the big boy booth, huh?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We do. We're going to be doing some broadcasting from there, and we're going to be talking to whoever wants to talk, man. And the more people that we talk to, the more people we can help through other people's stories. Because, walking around just talking to yourself, you ain't really going to help nobody. Right. And it's not going to help you either. Because you're going to talk yourself right into drinking or doing some drugs or calling that one girl who you shouldn't be messing with. Right. And boom. So if you can surround yourself with good people, do something that you can know, hey, by doing this, it keeps me sober. And I was talking to Deb, and Deb's out of Chicago. She's got a show called Ask Deb.
Ask Deb.
She's a pastor, Deb.
Way to pronunciate
Ask Deb. And I listened to her show today, and it made me realize something, though, that I got to be more positive. And and she's not fake positive at all. She's genuine, with her stuff. Her podcast's a lot different than this one, but, she's in Chicago, and she's talking to different people, but with the same message, and she's in recovery. And she's a coach, and man, she's got so much stuff going on. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking, man, this woman is humble.
Yeah,
I could just tell. And then she came on and she was like, I just try to be humble, and I'm like, Deb, I just said that you were humble,
Yeah.
So that it was cool making contacts though with other people, and that's what we're gonna try to do at the UFAM rally. But yeah, I shared earlier on the 217 Recovery Facebook, Deb's latest podcast, so you can listen to that. It's on their website, I guess, too. So yeah, check that out. Maybe you'll really like her, and the more people you can connect to and relate to and stay positive. But I told her that this keeps us sober, and she's like, absolutely. She's like, that's the point, and I was like, it's nice to have people out there that support you. And when people come up to me and they're like, man, thanks, and what I got to do is I got to read this letter. I'll read it while you're here. ask Randall something.
Well, you know, why you were pulling that
yeah,
up,
there you go, Randall. Thanks.
what you said earlier
Phil.
about staying positive, I mean, that's a big thing, you know, like, we say grateful. I mean, get grateful or die. And when we came up with that in treatment, like, it stuck with me because now I find myself in the slumps or bummed out about something. I have to find a positive. You know what I mean? I have to get grateful about a situation that I don't even want to be in. But yet it helps me, you know, get out of myself. It helps me, you know, realize, like, I'm over here at this other job last couple weeks ago. I didn't want to make subs all day and, you know, make salads. But the fact is, I had a job. I was making money. I was not getting high. Right. You know, I was not depressed. I had to walk to and from work every day. I hated it. But guess what? I had a job to go to. I was grateful to have the opportunity to at least be able to pay my rent and have some cash in my pocket. And I'm not that. I have never really been that type of person, you know. And it feels awesome just to be positive about anything now. You know, you can find a positive of anything out here. I try to find a positive of. Yeah. So it helps a lot.
I think, you know, with saying that, Randall.
Bro, I was GGOD before he went 217 on us.
Yeah, right. GGOD,
GGOD.
Right? Yeah, but you know, that's, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's an important part that I have to remember on a daily basis. Because, you know, even though I'm seeing small progressions in my life, I'm still. I don't want to say sick because there's a stigma that kind of goes with that, but I still think. I've still got things I need to work on with my thinking, you know, and I catch myself going to places, you know, and getting kind of in a funk. But doing simple things like, you know, being grateful. What have I got going on? You know, I've got this going on. I've got that going on. You know, I'm healthy. I can walk. You know, I mean, just simple things that, you know, we take for granted on a daily basis.
Definitely.
You know? And I think it makes a big difference. It does for me. You know, even if it gets me out of my funk for, you know, 5 minutes and then I just start going with the momentum, you know.
I mean, I can definitely see the change in both of you guys. I mean, definitely you, Rob. Like, I remember we did a lot of group times together. Oh, yeah. I remember the day you were sitting there like, how the fuck? You know, you're just one of them guys like, why are you guys so happy in here? You know, fuck this shit. And I'm like, Rob, man, just let go. Like, it's not, you can't fix it, you know? And,
yeah.
You know, you flipped, bro, instantly. But, like, before I left, you was doing your thing. And I was glad to hear you was coming over here. You know, I'm glad you guys came and then did your thing. It's a fucked up world we live in out there. I mean, we're out there now. We're not pinned up nowhere. You know, we're free. But like I said, when you go back to where you're from, or you know where things are comfortable and you're in your element, you know, you just start giving away that stuff quick. You know, you forget about it. You know. So.
I want to read something to you guys though. It's from Becky, and she posted
with
it
the
on
good hair.
Yeah, Becky with that good hair. Now, and this is kind of crazy too because today's May 5th.
Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody.
Yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo, yeah.
So, it's from Becky, and it was posted to our recovery group. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. Hi there, all. My name is Becky, and May 6th will mark my 6 months of continued sobriety for me. So, congrats, Becky, on that. She says, I'm having trouble sleeping because of some feelings and thoughts that continuously run through my mind. I'm going to take advantage of being a member of this great group and spill what is preventing me from sleep right now. I'm simply using this format as a means to spew what is upsetting me. I am so very passionate about sharing my story of being a survivor of an overdose and my struggle with addiction. I hope to one day be the one person of many to influence our small town community's inability to embrace us instead of shame us. I felt compelled to share an experience with my fellow recovery people who are members of this unique, talented, smart, strong, badass group of people. The man in these pictures is my best friend Eric. On February 5th this year, I held his hand after being at his bedside for 3 days as he was kept alive on life support until he took his last breath at the age of 24. Eric passed away due to complications from a heroin overdose and untreated severe mental illness issues. He relapsed in Jackson, Michigan, only 3 weeks after he left my side in Alpena. He used for the first time in just over 120 days of sobriety, and it cost him his life. It was during my last few days with him, even though he was completely unresponsive and brain dead, that I reminisced about all that he had and I had been through together in a very short amount of time. Eric was far too often looked at by others as nothing but a loser, weird, awkward, immature, drug addict, and junkie, and I'm not okay with that happening to anyone else. It was that moment that I concluded that Eric's struggle with addiction did not define him. He was so much more than what those judgmental, ignorant people had labeled him time and time and time again. Eric began to believe, however, that those people were right, and he would say, I'm just a loser IV heroin addict who's going to die anyway.
Right.
And he did just that. Each and every one of you reading this needs to know that your addiction does not define you. You are by far the strongest people most will ever have the pleasure to interact with. We have survived after battling deep in the trenches of addiction, only to have us battle mental torment on the daily, all while living in a society who, for the most part, still call us hurtful names, label us, and ignore that we exist. I was one who was refused top-of-the-line treatment after a near-fatal overdose because the doctor's eyes, I did it to myself. Oh, because in the doctor's eyes, I did it to myself. I chose to use. I was discharged only 4 hours later, hoping I didn't have brain injury from not breathing 3 times in the 45 minutes they worked to revive me. A man in the next room suffers from a heart disease and came in by ambulance at the same time. I did only to receive top-of-line attention and treatment and waits to be admitted for tests and observation for a few days. His doctor knows he chose to eat 6 donuts a day and doesn't exercise and doesn't take his medication like he's supposed to. He did it to himself, right? He chose to go against the doctor's orders, but it's okay. He has heart disease? What? I cannot wrap my head around it. Eric didn't choose addiction. It chose him. It chose him as a temporary solution to not have to feel the torture and trauma of PTSD for a little while. It chose me because my depression, anxiety, and the effects of 12 years of psychological abuse I couldn't escape unless I took something to numb me, alter my mind. I'm still mourning the loss of this talented, young, funny soul mate type connection kind of guy. Every damn day I think about him, talk to him, draw strength from him, and struggle to hear the sound of his voice. Because of the unconditional love I have for him, I would much rather be free from pain and torment and be watching over me from above instead of suffering and struggling here on earth with me. For those still struggling out there and not ready to see the way out, I will pray for you. For those still deep in the trenches but who want out and don't know where to start, I'm here for you. Seriously, contact me and I will take you to the place I went. You too can feel the overwhelming love and support of the staff, nurses, therapists, case managers, and fellow residents. Thank you, Eric. I know you came to me tonight when I needed it and guided me to do this. Gone but never forgotten. Bubs XO.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, sorry I kind of stumbled there reading.
Sorry, Becky, to hear that.
Yeah. She's...
I've argued that point myself as far as, people say we don't have a disease because we chose to do it. Diabetics choose not to eat right and they go into, diabetic, what is it?
Diabetic
comas or, whatever.
Yeah.
People smoke cigarettes and create cancer in their body all the time. I have a disease and it's a mental disease. It's a thinking problem. It's a mental disorder in my brain, but today I have a choice. Yes, I'll admit that today I have a choice. If I was to pick up, it would be my choice and it'd be the wrong decision. But once I feed that disease in my brain, it don't stop until I go back to treatment or, I get locked up or, I am forced to quit somehow. And it's sad that there's I know Joyce hates the word stigma, but, that stigma is out there, like that people that don't understand this. But it is classified as a disease in the doctors, in the books. It's a mental problem. We have a thinking disorder. We have, I always say, like, I don't have a drug problem today. I have a reaction problem. I have a thinking problem. I have, a lot of problems up there, but it's not a drug problem right now unless I choose it to be, And that's where it gets all misconstrued. People act like people think once you go to treatment, you're cured. there's no close. That's not even close to the truth. You know, you're just starting to get back to yourself after 30 days, or, you know, and if you don't put more barriers in between all that from you in the street or you in that lifestyle, it's slim to none that you're gonna make it. You know what I mean? We have a fighting chance because we chose to put another safeguard on our recovery by coming to a recovery residence. You know, the people that go straight back home or, you know, even change cities and go somewhere else. I mean, they're going right back into all the bullshit, and they still have all these barriers of their recovery. They don't have a license. They don't have a car. They don't have a job. You know, their kids are gone. All that shit is stress. You know what I mean? And it's going to eat away at your brain. And while that's eating away, your addiction problem is in the background doing jumping jacks, waiting on you to fucking get sorry for yourself. You know what I mean? And that's where we get caught up. You know what I mean? I've relapsed 1,000,000 times. I've been in treatment 8, 9 times, like I said before. I mean, I know. But I mean, I'm a firm believer there's no such thing as triggers. But I believe that them barriers are real. You know what I mean? Those are the things, like a liquor store is not a trigger for me, a crack house or, you know, whatever is not my triggers. My triggers are my barriers, that I like to call them, is my personal issues as far as, you know, things that I can't do in my life because of bad decisions that I've made. All the criminal history I have, all the, you know, 13 driving on suspended, couldn't get a license, or, you know, all the bad shit I've done is enabled me from being a productive member of society. So I didn't want nothing to do with it. You know, I just keep giving up. You know, but now I just keep seeing a little hope more and more every day, and I just keep grabbing it, and it's snowballed into a big ass, you know, bunch of good stuff. You know, that's the only way I can explain it. But that letter was, it's rough. I know a lot of guys down in Jackson. I think she said she was from Alpena, though, you know, and he went to Jackson. Jackson's a hell of a place, man. It's rough down there in Jackson, Michigan.
Yeah, so just the fact that we gave her an outlet.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's like, saving somebody's life. That's what this is all about.
Who knows who read
bro.
that you know, passed it along, and, you know, like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the internet. I mean, you don't even know how many thousands or millions of people probably don't read that. And it don't even matter. That one person felt the urge to say it because it's going to help somebody else. And that's the only way to fight this shit. Get it out. You know?
Absolutely.
I love it. I mean, I talk about this shit all day long. It's not shit, but I talk about this subject all day long, and I'm happy to come home and talk about it again or go to a meeting. Like, that's the only way I stay sober, you know. And I never thought I could enjoy life like that. Like, who wants to, you know, sit and talk about it all day or, you know, deal with other people's problems? But it helps me just as much, if not more, that it helps everybody else. And I had to learn that, you know. It makes me feel good when someone reaches out to me and asks me for help. So imagine how it feels for them people when you reach out and ask for help for them. And they feel like, oh, I'm trusted. You know, people think, you know, I know enough or I'm strong enough that I can help them. You know what I mean? Like, it's huge, you know. Yeah. Another shout out to Joyce. She taught me that shit too. But yeah.
The whole thing about, what is it? We keep what we have by giving it away.
By giving it away.
Yeah.
Well, to trust God, clean house, and help others.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Minute.
Yeah, we're running out of time. But thank you, Randall, for stopping by.
Man.
Yeah.
217 recovery, that's them boys. They're doing it big. I like it. GGOD.
GGOD.
You see all of us at the UFAM rally.
UFAM rally, Lansing.
Make sure you come and say what's up. I got a couple females on the payroll that's non-existent, but yeah, no, Anna and maybe her friend Kelly. I think you might know Kelly.
I know Anna, but I don't really know Kelly. I've heard of Kelly. I know she lives where Anna lives. But
Kelly,
yeah, Anna knows a lot too.
Kelly Winfield.
You guys already got married?
Wow. Well, she don't know it yet.
Yeah, she knows it now.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, I like to get on here with Anna. She got a lot of good stuff to say. She got a lot of experience in the game. She's a coworker of mine now. She's doing good.
So we'll be out there. So if there's guys listening, like, I ain't coming by the booth to hang out with you old people. Nah.
Old?
Nah. I'm gonna ride my horse.
Corey's old. I don't know about the rest of us. Rob might be a little older. I don't know.
No.
All right. Yeah, check out our resources page. Hit us up on Facebook. Donate if you want to. Appreciate it. 217recovery.com.
Yeah.